Hello everyone, we are here at San Nicolas, Florida Blanca, Pampanga. Come with us and we are going to interview Mr. Angelo Gabriel Hinco. Sir, when were you diagnosed with cerebral palsy?
I was diagnosed with cerebral palsy when I was quite young, and I don't even remember.
What did you feel po? What are the symptoms, signs that you experienced po?
Half of my body refuses to follow my command. But I cannot say that every person with cerebral palsy experiences the same thing because every symptom varies from person to person. It's not like we both have cerebral palsy and then we'll both have the same symptoms.
Hindi po pagkat meron kang gano'n, meron din yung ibang may cerebral palsy.
Yeah, the symptoms are different from each person.
Do you have experience with going to college or to work?
I have a degree in elementary education and I have a teaching experience, I guess. In fact, I graduated with flying colors. I graduated as cum laude.
Galing. From laude. And narinig ko po nagturo kayo sa pagdiruan,
Oh yes,
online.
yes, that was fun.
Kumusta naman po yun, sir? Mga estudyante, kasi
No, my teaching experience is good. In fact, it's not about the students, but rather it's more about making memories. Because sometimes you will forget them what they did, but how you made them feel, you'll always remember that. So I guess that's all I can say about that.
What has been your biggest challenge as a person living with cerebral palsy?
I guess the most challenging part is that I want people to know that I'm also entitled to opportunities the same as any other person. So I guess the struggle is that people tend to assume that you are only up here. You are not allowed to rise above that level. So I think the challenge is to break the perception, or rather the stigma about living with a disability. That's the challenge.
Parang kasi sa tingin nila, hanggang doon na lang.
Yeah.
Parang hindi na kayo pwede magpapita.
Yeah, or I guess that's the stigma about the disability. So I guess and another challenging part is that since you have a disability, sometimes you tend to compare yourself with your peers because you feel different, you feel alone. So that's really tough.
In what ways you have worked to overcome those challenges?
No, I cannot say that I overcome them, but rather what can I say is that I tend to embrace them, because when you overcome them, you tend to surpass them. But when you embrace them, you tend to accept them, because having a disability is a part of who I am, and denying that I have a disability would be like denying a part of myself, and I don't think that's a good idea.
Sir, who or what has been your biggest support, and what is your biggest fear?
For my support, I guess my mother, because she's always been at my side. So whenever I go, there she goes. And my biggest fear, I guess, is failure, because for me, as I mentioned before, since I graduated with Latin honor, I guess my fear is that, particularly when I get the board exam, my fear is that people will, if I fail the board exam, then I was afraid that people will use that against me. Like you graduated with honors and yet you failed twice the board exam. So it would be like a slap on my face.
Ako yung support, so bilang supporter ko, paano po napakita yung support ko sa'yo?
I guess my mom's always there. For example, I needed materials for my projects. My mom tends will buy them. So and then there was this challenge once upon a time in which there was this hurdle in which I was almost stopped from going to school, and then my mother fought for my rights.
So, lagi po siyang nasa tabi
Yeah,
mo.
like for example, there is this issue where involves me na uh, it's kind of like I was no longer allowed to go to school because there are some that happens. That was bad, and then my mother consulted some experts, and then she got some rights to that.
Next po is, what are your hobbies or things you like to do for fun?
How many would you like to know?
Kung ilan po yung gusto mo
So,
i-share?
okay, so first, I guess, I like to read. In fact, I run an online book club on Discord in which my members are from all over the world. And we tend to have book discussions, and as of the moment, we are currently reading Hunger Games trilogy together. And another one is I really love to watch anime. And I guess I also love talking about history. And I also tend to write, though I'm not really good at it. But I always try.
I also watch anime, so like, Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, that was part of my childhood, but unfortunately, I think it was cancelled. I tend to watch more feminine anime because, I grew up with girls before my brother was around. The only people around me are girls. I don't have any friends that are boys, and even if I do have them, they are too active for me. And since I have this, I don't tend to be sporty.
Tatlo po kayo magkakapatid.
Yeah.
Sino po yung pinapangalan?
That would be me.
Oh, next po yung girl ko.
Yeah.
And then yung lalaki.
Yeah.
What is the major thing that you would like to do in your life or something you want to achieve after a corporate field?
I think finishing my master's degree. I entered graduate school not because I yearn for position, but rather I would like to use it as an opportunity to send a message to everyone that having a disability is not something that you should be ashamed of, but rather, just like any type of ability, it is worth celebrating. That's beautiful, more than anything else.
Does your disability can be a hindrance in achieving what you want in life?
I guess that would depend on the situation, but it's not about the disability that hinders you, but rather it's all about the people's comments and opinions about you. Like, for example, you'll receive a negative comment. For example, I remember one time there is this teacher who told me that because of my disability, this would tend to be impossible. And look at me now, I am here. So I guess you see, when you receive those negative comments, they tend to pollute your mind. So whether you like it or not, because you have a disability and you have a very different experience from your peers, they tend to haunt you. Like, they will be in your mind forever, and you will always try your best to defy that, because if you fail, should you fail, you will have this conclusion of, or perhaps they were right, I can't do it, so why bother?
So, how does cerebral palsy affect your daily life? Like, for example, when you go outside, do people look at you as a big girl?
I guess yes, because when I was still in school, people would tend to ask me silly questions such as, how do you dress yourself? How do you go to the bathroom? And for me, that's rude, because I can use the bathroom as much as anyone else. I can dress myself. I can do everything except tie my shoes. That, yes, I can do almost everything except for doing my shoes. And fortunately, I don't do shoes anymore.
Before you become a mother of a child with cerebral palsy, Were you aware of what cerebral palsy po?
Actually, as a mother, hindi ko alam yung cerebral palsy before. So, nung na-diagnose si Gio na may cerebral palsy, he was 10-month-old baby. So, nung time na yon, hindi ko pa talaga alam kung ano yon. So, kailangan as a parent, maging educated ako kung ano talaga ang kondisyon ng isang bata na may cerebral palsy.
What was your first reaction when you received his diagnosis po?
Actually, pina-assess ko siya kay Dr. De Mesa, who is an ortho. And then, nung sinabi niya sa akin, meron ng mild cerebral palsy ang anak ko. Ang first action ko is, nagtaka ko, Dok, ano ba yun? Sabi ko, wala akong idea kung ano man yung sinasabi niyo. So, nung pinaliwanag niya sa akin na mild lang, doon ako nakahinga ng maluwag.
So, yung cerebral palsy po, ma'am, parang ano siya, may level po na parang malala, normal, or
So,
mild
may
lang.
severity yung tinatawag.
How has having a child with cerebral palsy affected your life po? Has it taught you anything new po?
Actually, since I am a working mom, napakahirap para sa akin ang magkaroon ng isang anak na masasabing special. Kasi ang anak ko is actually considered as yung katawan niya is half paralyzed. So, ang hirap para sa akin kasi hindi siya makaupo. Nag-walk siya at the age of 3. Tapos, may ano pa yon, yung gait niya is hindi kasing normal ng mga batang naglalakad. So, yung first step niya, umaantabay pa siya sa mga gilid-gilid pero hindi ganoon ka normal ang paglakad niya.
Parang yung motor skills po yung na-apektuhan pag may cerebral palsy naman, yung paggalaw po.
Oo, depende rin. Depende. Kasi sa kanya mild lang. So, actually, yung iba dyan, yung severe case, meron ng kakambal na abnormality. So, sa kaso ni Gio, ang tawag sa kanya is high function. And as a mom, kailangan aralin ko ano nga ba yung level ng anak ko para at least ma-guide ko rin siya. And then, if ever na pwedeng makokorreksyonan pa. So, as parent, kailangan educated ka kung ano man ang condition ng anak mo.
What does a day in the life of a parent caring for a child with disability looks like po?
Napakahirap. Actually, nung una, payat ako. Pero tumaba ako sa hirap. Imagine mo dahil nasa Guagua ako nagtatrabaho noon. So, 5:00 pa lang binibihisan ko na yan. Para lang makaupo siya, ilalagay ko siya sa isang box. Kung wala yung high chair niya, ilagay ko siya sa isang box. Tapos yung box na ilalagyan ko ng unan kasi hindi siya makaupo. So, ang gagawin ko para lang ma-ready ko lahat ng kailangan niya, ilagay ko muna siya sa box kasi kung iiwan ko lang siya sa bed, hindi siya hindi relaxing para sa kanya ang laging nakahiga. So, lagay ko siya sa box na may unan sa likod para sa support niya. Tapos, pag uwi ko from school, darating ako ng mga halos 5:30 ng afternoon. Kailangan ko siyang pick upin din sa nanny niya kasi yung nanny ko naman hindi siya full-time na nanny. So, ibig sabihin, habang nag-work ako, parang nasa daycare lang siya. So, pagdating ko galing ng school, kukunin ko na siya dun sa nanny niya. So, lahat yon pati madumi niyang gamit, mga damit niya, kasi yung mag-asawa na nag-aalaga sa kanya, ginawan siya ng parang aid para makalakad siya. So, maghapon siya dun gumagapang and then lumalakad. So, pag pick up ko sa kanya, ang dumi niya, lahat ng maduming gamit niya nasa akin. Pero, syempre, as a mom na may ganong klaseng bata, kailangan kayanin mo kahit mahirap. Talagang mahirap at first, pero masanay ka rin.
Kasi anak.
Oo, anak talaga.
Iba po yung nabanggit po kanina ni Sir Gio po, ikaw daw yung biggest supporter niya po. Ano po yung parang nasasabi mo doon, or na-feel mo doon nung tinanong namin siya, tapos ikaw po yung sagot niya, always ka daw kasi niya sa side niya na nagkaano sa kanya.
Natouch ako nung narinig ko rin sinabi niya sa akin. Talaga naman kasi as mother, as parent, kami talaga ang dapat na magbigay sa kanya ng full support. Iparamdam namin na ang presensya namin kahit na pareho kami ng daddy niya nag-work, kailangan iparamdam namin sa kanya na hindi siya lagi nag-iisa. Na nandito kami para supportahan siya kahit na anumang mangyari sa kanya. Kailangan talaga ipa-feel namin para hindi siya ma-depress. Kailangan namin na ipa-feel namin na kung gaano siya kahalaga at kaimportante sa amin.
So yung family po talaga yung pinagmulan ng parang support system po ng isang tao po.
Oo, dapat talaga ipakita mo, iparamdam mo. Hindi lang basta-basta ipakita. Talagang ramdam mo sa kanya or talagang ipa-feel mo para lang malaman niya na kahit na ganyan ang kondisyon niya, mahalaga pa rin siya.
Last question na lang po, ma'am. As a parent of a child with disability, what do you want others to know and understand about your son and his cerebral palsy?
Ako sa edad kong ito, ang masasabi ko lang since nasa 25 na rin si Gio. So as parent, kailangan lakasan ng loob kasi hindi naman natin maiitapon yan, anak natin yan. So ano man ang mangyari sa kanya, dapat nandoon tayo, ipakita natin ang full support kasi walang mangyayari sa kanya kung hindi ipakikita yung love at saka yung halaga niya. So yung bata, once na nabusang moral niya, tapos na nagka-interest din siya sa pag-aaral niya kasi nga gawa ng nasa paligid niya, doon lang mag-start ang pangarap niya. So laban lang, ganun talaga ang buhay. Hindi naman ibibigay sa'yo ng Diyos ang mga bagay na hindi mo kakayanin.
Having a disability could set you apart from the rest of your peers. But by learning to live with it, what I mean by that is, learning to accept your disability is one step closer to accepting who you are. And accepting who you are can be a great reminder that despite all the circumstances, you are still the hero of your own story.